Hello, everybody. This is Mike from MBoxWave.com, and I just got into a long position on this morning's Emini S&P 500. I saw an interesting setup, and I don't see this as often on the ES, so I'm excited to see how this goes, and wanted to share as it's happening. So I just got into this position right after this big up bar here, right? If we zoom in right here. So the market's opened right here at 9:30, and things can be volatile when markets open. Sometimes usually I wait for them to move a little bit, but sometimes I will jump on it initially if I think that there's a good opportunity. So basically the market's open and we had this huge triple algo, right? We had a plus 285 buy imbalance, Stooges signal, and a spring signal, right? And so when I saw that, and that interested me because when I drew these lines, before the markets opened, and I'll zoom out here. During the electronic hours, we had tested this area, this blue line, which was resistance, and this orange line, which was support. So when the markets open, and I saw that this acted as resistance again, it dipped down, but when it dipped down, we had this massive 285 buy imbalance and two signals, which makes it a triple algo, right? So to me, it looked like a pullback on this previous resistance level, which looks to me it's become support, right? So let's just start drawing this up. I'm also, the thing is I don't really have guidance right now as to where the exit will be, so I'll be relying on the indicators. Usually, you see when I zoom out, I don't see any support resistance levels here. Even if I go back previous days, I didn't see anything notable, so I'll be having to watch carefully what's going on with the indicators. But I think there is profit to be made from this trade. Okay, if we get right into it, here we have a triple algo. Okay, we have a plus 285 buy imbalance, and we have a Stooges, and plus the spring buy signal. All right, signals, because there's multiple. All right, so that's what I saw was happening here. Here, look at this huge, this is really big. In the MBox Delta, we have a huge MBox Delta buy imbalance. So we see the buy imbalance in the wave delta here and in the MBox Delta, right? So on this price movement down, this red box, we had all this buying. All right, so it makes you scratch your head, right? Especially when it was happening at this previous level of resistance. That's what made it very notable, and why I took notice and why I got into this trade, right? If we look at this, this is, and you compare, this is pretty notable. If you see this red box up here, you'll see we don't see anything that large in the previous day, and usually we don't see these huge buy imbalances like this on the ES or even other instruments. But ES, I don't see this stuff that often on the ES, so it is notable. At the same time, we saw we saw demand in the basically cumulative buying demand, and it spikes up right here. All right, so at this bar, right? This bar down here, we're seeing a spike in the cumulative buying, right here. We also see that the pace of the bids, a huge pace on the bids, right? But, and here's the big but, right? So I've got the color. I'm going to change the color again. So we see this huge pace of bids, but all this buying is going on, right? So, I mean, that's a divergence. So this actually flips, right? It's not bearish anymore. This becomes bullish because we have all this buying on this downward movement, all this buying. So this cannot be, bearish, right? So this in turn becomes climactic. Right? And I'm showing this as I am reading it, right? Because that's what makes sense to me. So this becomes a climax and, is not bearish. It's the opposite. It becomes bullish, right? This bar comes up. After this bar closed, I got in. I saw we had this demand. We saw huge buy imbalances. We had this triple algo. And also, pace of offers came in here. Right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that this is less than the pace of bids because the pace of bids showed climactic action, right? So it doesn't matter that this is lower than this. This was a climax. So this agrees with the story, right? We've got the buy imbalance, these signals, so it's a triple algo. Huge MBox delta buy imbalance here. See, if the red box is above the 0, it means that it's buying, right? And it's an imbalance in the wave because there was more buying on this movement down than selling. That's why we see a blue number here. So it's a plus, right? Not a minus like you see here, -7, -32. All right. So price came up. We're waiting at this point. We had this a pullback here. My guess it's reacting to this resistance line, but which became support. That's what it looks like to me. My guess is it's reacting to it, and we'll have to wait a little bit to see what it's going to do. But so far, everything is bullish. Oh, I do notice right here this -116. That's effort, no result, right here. Right. After this came down on our pullback, this is a confirmation of our position. And I guess I could have gotten into another position there, and that's what happens when I record videos. Don't always get in time to get everything, but that's all right. So you see, why is it effort, no result? Because this is -116, and look how far came down compared to 106 right here. On 106, it went up a lot. On 116, which is more than the 106, it came down less than half as much as this movement up. So that's why it's effort, no result. It spent more volume, but achieved less length. All right, so that's adding even more strength to our position. So everything in this analysis right here, everything I see is bullish. I don't see anything bearish. So we're up over $2,000. Well, I guess it's fluctuating, and I'll let's just put the record on pause, and I'll watch the markets, and I'll come back when we see something more. Looks like price is going. All right. Okay, so we're back now, and market moved a little bit. We came up here. I just got into another position right here. Guess I should turn on the order fills. that? There we go. Got the order fills now, so that's showing my positions. Entries, first position here, second position here. So I got in on this double signal. Right here. Right, so things still looking bullish. Here we have a double signal, double signals, stooges, plus pullback buy. Right here, that's what's going on. So, you know, things still looking good. I moved my stop up here, kind of wish I got in on the effort, no result here. That looked to be the better entry, but that's all right. You know, so we made, you know, two signals here, so things still looking bullish, so I got in another position. So here's my first position, 10 contracts. Here's my second position, 10 contracts. All right, so I'll be watching, you know, when to exit, you know. So I'll come back when we see something more. Okay, I just got out of the trade. That happened quickly, so didn't catch that on video, but that's okay. We're up over $9,000 in profits, so I'm happy about that. Analysis started to change, so I exited. You can't see this here, but right here behind this, we have a sell imbalance here. So you see the order fills, and I'm going to hide that in a second so I can show why I exited. You know, so basically, let me draw over these order fills so that remains on the chart. So the second position didn't bring that much profit, but that's okay. Well, it did. It brought in, you know, over $2,000 in the first position, $7,000. So that's still good. All right. So as we were edging up here, right? I saw this come in. This red box. To me, it looked like also effort, no result again. We see the minus 127. We see the 103. It's spending more to come down, but you know, I didn't feel like getting into another position. And as we came up here, you know, because it looks like supply is starting to come in or something is going on, you know. You know, as we came up here, we have, you know, it is a higher high, and we have less demand. So I didn't like that. Cumulative delta dropped right here, and you know, we see, you know, it drops here, drops here. You know, so then I saw this minus 41 sell imbalance. Okay, so you know, it means that, you know, the selling is starting to get more serious. So it looked like a good place to exit the long positions. You know, we're getting drops in the cumulative demand, and you know, we got this sell imbalance. You know, it's not looking as bullish. You know, so I decided, you know, let's just get out. It's a good profit, $9,000 for the day, so I'm happy about that. Yes, we have another pullback buy. Probably somebody's asking, well, what about this signal? And I would say, what about it? Right? Where's the demand? Right? Here's what I would show somebody, right? And I like these questions, you know, because people are thinking, and you know, it's important. But you know, this is how I see the markets, right? We have a higher high here, right? It is, if you look at that wick, and we have a drop in the MBox delta. We have a drop in the cumulative demand. You have a buy signal. Does that look that bullish? It doesn't look as, you know, it doesn't look that strong to me, right? So that's not a trade that I would personally take. All right. But you know, that's how I see it. And you know, I'm already up in profits, so I'm happy about that. So you know, it was a good place to exit. You know, so to recap here, you know, in the ES, you know, I don't see these huge imbalances like this that often, you know. So, especially when it happened on this previous level of resistance before it became support, it became a pullback on this blue line. You know, I thought it was significant, right? And so that's what got my attention. We had this huge MBox delta buy imbalance. We had this cumulative buying happening. We had this pace of bids, which became climactic. We had the pace of offers come in. You know, we had this demand here. We had this effort, no result. We had another double signals buy, right? There was this stooges here. I didn't get in on it, right? But it was there. Then, you know, we have this stooges sell, and somebody will say, well, why didn't you sell this here? Well, do you see any supply here in this region here? I don't see any supply. I would not sell it, right? You have to remember that the signals are, you know, should be used as entry points, right? But if you see a sell signal here and the underlying analysis doesn't show supply, I would not trade that, right? And as price came up here, I saw a higher high, less demand, and the sell imbalance, I got out, all right? Yeah, looks like price came back up again. You know, I'm not sure what's going to happen. I take setups that make sense. Yes, price is going up. We had this pullback buy, but this is not a setup that I would take, right? I take setups that have a high degree of probability like I saw right here. Anyway, that's it for me today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.